Hey guys, welcome to the Good Buddy Z channel. Yeah, I just want to talk about ADHD, how it affects a person's life. So, I just want to cover the basics first before we begin. What is ADHD? ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Sometimes it's commonly known as ADD. So, how does ADHD affect a person's life? Well, people with ADHD, like myself, we struggle with focus. We struggle with forgetfulness. We struggle with sleep, you know, because we have insomnia at night. We struggle with, academics, we struggle with, getting a job. We struggle with relationships. And we do struggle with depression, which is a condition that can come because of having ADHD. So, yeah, that's just basically what ADHD is. It's an inability to focus, an inability to remember stuff, important things that you need to do. So, yeah, it causes problems in a person's life. So, how has ADHD affected me personally? Personally, it's had a very devastating impact on my life because of that struggle to remember stuff, that struggle to focus. It kind of makes life a lot more challenging. So, for instance, if someone was speaking to me, I have problems with, listening to what they have to say. So, sometimes if I'm in a direct conversation with somebody on one, I struggle to you know, focus on what they have to say because I'm already thinking about something else. That's ADHD. And sometimes, what do I struggle with? Memory. You know, if someone tells me to do something, sometimes my memory is just so bad. My working memory is so bad that after maybe a few seconds or minutes, I would have forgotten what that person said because my mind was again already on something else. So, even with sleep, you know, sometimes I struggle to sleep. I find myself just up at night thinking and thinking and thinking, and I can't even stop. It's a real problem. Sleep is a very big issue for people with ADHD, and struggling to wake up in the morning. Yeah, that's also a very big issue. If you have ADHD, that's also a very big issue because your body's so tired, and when you have to wake up, it's like this huge burden that you have to overcome just by waking up. So, yeah, those are the struggles with ADHD. I mean, I can imagine if maybe you were going to work the next day and you can't sleep because you're always thinking, you know. The insomnia at night just keeps you awake. And now you have to wake up tomorrow. Maybe you have to go to school, maybe you have to go to work. And, that burden of living with ADHD, it's just tough, you know. People who don't have it won't understand, but it's really, really hard. So, yeah, and a lot of people with ADHD, they tend to drop out of colleges, they tend to change jobs a lot, because our brain is in constant need for dopamine. It's that chemical whereby that helps you to focus. It's kind of like a stimulant. It helps you to be able to focus. It helps you to be able to manage life in general. People with normal brains, they have a good, dopamine. Yeah, they have good dopamine flow inside their brains because they are able to focus on stuff. Whereas people with ADHD, if you're not interested in something, if something is not really like grabbing your attention, maybe it doesn't really interest you, it becomes that much harder for you to actually focus. But for the normal people, it's not as difficult. It's not really that difficult, even if they are not interested in something, but at least they can maintain some kind of focus because of what we just talked about, which is dopamine. They have a natural flowing dopamine in their brains that allows them to be able to focus on what someone is saying. So yeah, it's that lack of dopamine that causes issues. And another thing with ADHD is depression. Yeah, depression. I think it comes because it does come with ADHD. Sometimes it's because of how sometimes it's because of how society reacts to us, and sometimes it just comes naturally with ADHD. Yeah, depression is a very serious thing that can come with ADHD. So if you are feeling depressed, maybe you can reach out to a helpline in your country and you can get some help there. So yeah, these are the challenges that come with living with ADHD, you know. And it's even more challenging because if you are around people who don't understand what you're going through, then it makes it that much harder. It makes it that much harder because a lot of people still don't understand mental illness. There's still a lot of stigma with regards to mental health issues. If you're mentally ill, then you're not a good fit for society. That's what we know. So, yeah, it's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge. But it's not all bad. I think people with ADHD, they tend to be creative. Yeah, they tend to be very creative and they can think outside the box. So, in spite of all of these challenges, there are some upsides to it. Maybe you can use those upsides to your advantage to do something that would require you to be creative and to think outside the box and things like that. Yeah. So, what are the other upsides to living with ADHD? People with ADHD tend to be great conversationalists. They tend to know how to start a conversation well. They, even though sometimes we can't keep track of what someone else is saying because we're already thinking about something else. But yeah, they tend to be great conversationalists and they have a very interesting perspective on life. Yeah, that's also another positive trait that people with ADHD possess. So yeah, I've lived with it. A lot of people live with it, and yeah, that's ADHD. So I think that's it for now. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have questions or if you have anything to say, feel free to drop a comment below, share, like, subscribe. Thank you.